Thanks, Rich, and thanks everyone. Wow, this symposium has been absolutely amazing. And as Rich alluded to, it's my job to try to summarize what we've heard from these 8 presentations and our 10 presenters. So I will do my best to do that now. Next slide, please. So as we've heard about today, particularly at the top of our program, there's a ton of energy and momentum to move the city of Los Angeles forward on the topic of healthy soils. And there's interest in drawdown and all of these solutions that soils and brown infrastructure present. And there are so many exciting initiatives like TreePeople's Healthy Soils for Healthy Communities. And then in addition, LA's Green New Deal includes a number of healthy soils goals, some of which Mastojiri presented on at the top of the program. But just to recap, some of these goals include some really important things like developing a healthy soils strategy for the city of LA, piloting different healthy soils projects so we can learn what we can do at a larger scale as a solution, amplifying community outreach on things like healthy soils, but also biodiversity and regenerative agriculture, establishing farmers market food waste drop-offs, and then hopefully with SB 1383 coming on board, launching residential food scraps collection and developing a composting master plan. And collectively, achieving these goals will really help us create a more climate resilient city. And I'm really proud to say that thanks to the incredible collaborative efforts of the community of soil scientists, soil enthusiasts, ecologists, landscapers, and more, really all of you who are on the call today, many of these big goals are either underway or complete. And so the big announcement that I am happy to share is that the city just published last night the Healthy Soils Strategy for Los Angeles. And you can download it at our website, which is lacitysan.org/healthysoils. And this document was a huge collaborative effort with our Healthy Soils Advisory Panel. And it does a great job of detailing relevant urban soil topics, as well as providing different strategies and actions that we at LACN, at our sister city departments, as well as via community groups and residents, can take to actually conserve and properly manage our soils. And the document has chapters on ecosystem services, composting, contamination and pollution, agriculture, biodiversity, and so much more. So I do encourage you to take a look. And each of our chapters is color-coded and includes at the end a table of strategies and supporting actions that we as this larger soil community can take to really drive issues forward. So one small chunk of our composting table is shown here as an example. Next slide. And this strategy document provides a framework or a roadmap for how we can move forward on this issue of healthy soils. But this is really just the first in many steps. So in my mind, it's the partnerships, the multidisciplinary collaborations, and the types of innovative thinking demonstrated today, as well as really building a community with a shared vision that will allow us to achieve these things and drive this issue of healthy soils forward. And today has really been just an incredible forum for sharing ideas, providing updates on cutting edge research, and showing how we can engage community and showcase different projects and partnerships. And I think not only will these help us drive our strategy document forward, but they'll also help us as a city and as a region really become a leader in this space. And during today's symposium, oh, please go back one more. During today's symposium, I really thought that there were 3 themes that emerged from our talks. The first is that soils are part of the solution, right? Green, blue, and brown infrastructure collectively are the answer to so many of the pressing problems we face. Second is that establishing consensus is essential to creating a shared vision around soils that we can move forward. And third is that building community and partnerships around soils is vital because, as stated in the theme of today's symposium, soil connects us all. So just to elaborate a little bit more on kind of what we've heard and try to wrap things up a bit, to go into a little bit more detail on this first point, that soils are part of the solution. Soils and brown infrastructure are really being more widely appreciated as ways to address these twin crises of biodiversity and climate change. And as we also heard, they're also really becoming more appreciated as ways to approach stormwater management. And so I think that some of the information and the ways we can test and look at different types of adaptive management are really important in actually ensuring that soils are this important solution. And I loved what the test plot folks said about open-mindedness and flexibility being key, because if we really want soils to be the solution, we need to do some testing and understand that things aren't always going to work out as planned. And beyond just understanding that soils are part of the solution, there's a need for kind of understanding what we do and don't know. And so I think that kind of establishing some consensus around different emerging needs and then meeting those needs with emerging techniques, technologies, and research, and then ultimately wrapping those up into some BMPs that we can use at the city level or regionally to drive these issues forward is really important. And just to call out some of what was presented today, we heard from Tom Whitlow on emerging needs like how we can better understand tree performance, soil changes, ecosystem functions, and more. And he pointed out that there are huge research needs that have gone unmet, but he and others on the call also presented on some really incredible emerging resources and techniques that can answer these needs. We heard about Cornell's structural soils. We heard from Stu Schwartz on suburban subsoiling. And these sorts of techniques and research findings can really serve as the backbone for BMPs moving forward. On the topic of BMPs, I think we heard a lot about them today, definitely a buzzword. But we heard from Naeem Edwards on different soil BMPs. TestPlot also presented on their list of mantras shown here in the corner to help establish shared goals and value systems. And then at the beginning of today, we heard from Leah and Devin at TreePeople on how they have started gathering information on soil BMPs. And I know that I'm really excited to see how they wrap up all of that information in their final report and recommendations. And building agreement amongst practitioners and scientists, government workers like me, students and community members on BMPs is really key to a joint vision and really how we can make progress on this issue. And my experience working on the Healthy Soil Strategy document and running the city's Healthy Soils program has been really inspiring. We've pulled together a truly incredible advisory panel and interdepartmental team, but we've also had the opportunity to be involved in TreePeople's Healthy Soil for Healthy Community initiative and have had the opportunity to participate in this greater soil community at events like today's symposium. And I think that all of this really just shows the power of collective action and shows that if we come together to recognize the potential of soils and agree on potential solutions, we can achieve so much. And growing these connections and building new ecosystems will definitely lead to innovation and success in this realm. And soil will help connect us all. And I just want to close with this idea that while work remains to be done on the healthy soils goals that we at the city are working on in LA's Green New Deal, I think that the collaborative approaches and the incredible soils work happening across LA, as exemplified by all of our presenters today, puts LA at the forefront of this issue and provides a framework for other communities across the US. And just really want to say thank you to everyone for being a part of today. It's been inspiring to be involved with this work and this community, and of course today's symposium. And I can't wait to see what happens next.